FIFO and a bottle of rum. What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K. I'm so glad to be back. Yes. And as you can see, we kind of got fancy new digs here, everybody. We kind of jazz it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Before we get started, I want to say this. Shout out to the good brother, my there's a reason he's my spiritual advisor. He gets my spirits all settled and from being discombobulated. You know what I mean? That's my good brother, Clive Linden. Thanks to Clive, I said, you know what? As much as I like StreamYard, I can now abandon StreamYard. Let me make sure that the audio ain't playing. Okay, all right. That I can abandon StreamYard and now I can utilize this program, which is OBS, the one that allows me to do little fancy stuff here and there. And the reason why I can do that is for what you see smack dead middle of the screen. Clive, when you get done here, I urge you to go Squid. You'll be interested in this. All of you that are content creators will definitely be interested in this. There's a new function that Clive has shown people how to emulate from StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? And he shows you in a very simple way. What am I talking about? Well, let me show you this. Let me show you something. Look at that. The comment pop-up thing now is working on OBS. That gives us so many more options, so many more capabilities, and it allows us to say, bye, hey, goodbye to StreamYard. I'm sorry. It's janky. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Shout out to the young developers and stuff like that. I don't want to seem like that I'm raining on their parade. I'm taking a whiz in their cornflakes, but it's just not there yet as far as what they're asking you to pay in its robust offerings. The biggest thing that it had was that it allowed me to do stuff like this to highlight your comments. So particularly as part of an open mic, that's huge. So as we were doing Stadia live sessions, if you guys and gals could remember, we did those primarily on StreamYard, but it cut off our capabilities on the type of video quality and a bunch of other stuff that we could do. So we had to ditch it. Nah, hey, goodbye. Hey, speaking of that, the homie Markle Swinney with the sticker, the super chat sticker for $5. Look how that popped up. That looks nice. Mikhail, thank you so much for your support. It's because of support like this that we can even do this, man. Appreciate you. What do I mean by this? What do I mean by do this? We're about to do this. All right? But before we do this, I got to shout out y'all because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine and divine. Chilling like a cold glass of wine, baby. I know it's cheesy. I know it's corny, but I just got a mixed bowl of emotions. Why? Because I practice something called delayed gratification. Now bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I try not to get political. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, the homie Joseph, you right with me. Hey, now, I didn't forget that he existed, but I was wondering where he was at. But Wrong Yeezy, yes, Wrong Yeezy is back in the Heezy. Yes, Wrong Yeezy. Come on back home, prodigal son. Here's the thing, y'all. I practice something called delayed gratification. I've had the extravagance and the luck and I was fortunate and blessed enough to have a lot of great mentors. You hear me mention them all the time. I always believe in the village mentality. Everywhere I go, I try to embrace that mentality as trying to grow. I don't always look at what can I do for myself. I always look at how to help the others around me because I feel like a rising tide lifts all boats. It's always been my mentality. It's just how I am. People say it's the way that I am to my detriment. I've gotten burned over the years a lot of those ways where people be like, oh yeah, we're right with you, MM2K, and here they're just trying to drain the resources and run off of what they can because they got selfish means and thoughts and stuff like that. But I still keep going. I am who I am, and I am what I am. You know what I mean? God Hero in the house. Thank you, God Hero. You are my brother from another mother, man. I appreciate you. Welcome to the dose. Man. Just in time, too, for our killer interview, one-on-one that we're going to do with Ace, co-founder of Cloud Gaming Extreme. Man, let me tell you something. Ace is one of those brothers that's he's just so mellow, so cool, and so chill. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me, I can see, but see, I'm an older cat, so I can see Ace back in the day writing the song lyrics for Keith Sweat. Hey Keith, man, this is what I want you to say to the ladies. You know, Ace is so cool. I appreciate him so much. So me and Ace has really been trying to get me on CGX for a while, but it's on Saturday. Saturdays are a bad day for me. Me and my wife are looking for a house. We're this close, y'all. We're about to find a house. All this good stuff happening. Yes, if you believe, it will happen. But so I've rapped to him in the past, said, look, man, I wouldn't mind doing it, but you know what I'm saying? There's some things going on personally. It's not a good time. I've always given kudos to Ace and the things that those guys do there because they are good at what they do. Storm was working personally with some stuff. He has nothing but good words for them, you know what I'm saying? And they reached out to me to come and do something. I wanted to talk to Ace, you know what I'm saying, and try to formulate something. And so Ace was willing, even before I made any commitments, he was willing to come and do a one-on-one with me, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate him for that. CGX is a growing platform. Check it out if you're into all things cloud gaming. They generally have a different perspective, but that's okay. Diversity of thought. And me and Ace, we're going to sit there and talk about our different perspectives of what we feel about cloud gaming. We're going to have a little fun in the interview as well. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some good stuff. Going to be some great stuff happening. And I think a lot of you will appreciate that. That's going to happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had to push that back from today because of today's news, of course. We had to do what we're doing today. We had to do it. Yes. But we're going to do that 3 p.m. tomorrow. Now, it's going to air live for all of our members, okay? We've been blessed with a whole bunch of members. So there could be a good number of people in that chat. Thank y'all so much for y'all support. However, if you're not a member, and you can stand and wait till Sunday to catch the VOD. The VOD will be available on my MM2K videos channel. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about that because that's, Cloud Gamer Chronicles is different from Stadia Dosage. It's a completely different type of collaboration. You guys will see we're still in the pilot phase. We're still trying to work some things out. But we're premiering it on Stadia Dosage's membership program right now just to give it a little kickstart. And then it's going to be its own platform on its own. It's going to have its own life, its own pulse. It will no longer be a Siamese twin to this platform. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely check that out. That's going to be one of our bigger programs for the platform in its early age, is that sit down with Ace. So definitely check it out. You know what I mean? This is crazy, y'all. Here's the thing. Like I was saying before, I am a believer in delayed gratification. What do I mean by delayed gratification? Well, and again, I try not to get political, even though, politics is something that I have studied in and out. But I don't get political here because that's not what y'all want to listen to me for. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came to listen to me about video games, not for me to give you my whole life's agenda. And I'm a person, but still, I get it. I'm very self-aware. Okay. So, but I just want to say this because I know that for some people love this individual. A lot of people now despise them because of the current political climate. But I'm telling you that before they got into the political spectrum, this person was a great author. and really hit on nothing political as far as anybody is concerned. So their earlier works, regardless where you fall on the political spectrum, I highly urge you to go read their books. That person is, I forgot his name. Hold on. I can't believe I forgot this guy's name. Dr. Ben Carson. Oh, God. I did all that cheesy intro and I forgot his name and slipped my mind. Dr. Ben Carson. The world-renowned doctor who worked on Siamese twins and things like that, did crazy stuff. He just didn't start in the political world. He was a gifted doctor, and he wrote a book called Gifted Hands. And in that book, which was a very great book for me to read at the time, I really needed it. I was a young guy. I was in the corporate world, Fortune 500 world. All of my peers were a lot older than me. They were like twice my age. I was young, I was like in my early 20s. You know what I'm saying? I just had a sheer determination. A lot of people were doubting me. I had a lot of, for a variety of reasons, they were doubting me. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to nitpick every single thing that they could. That's why even with some of this smaller bickering right now, I just flee it off. It's nothing to me. I've been fighting my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So, and it started at a young age, and reading books like that. And one of the inserts within the book that really grabbed onto me was delayed gratification. Shout out to the homie Randy Barrios. Randy, man, you've been coming through. I really appreciate you, good brother. Thank you so much for the support. And you're long overdue for it too, man. Thank you for becoming a member. And you've been showing a lot of support recently. You have got your moderator wings, brother. So I appreciate y'all. The thing with the moderators, again, I've never really gone over it in full detail. We let people rock. Just no stuff against people's sexual orientation, no stuff about race, no stuff about people's families and kids, man. Just keep that out. You know what I'm saying? But we let people rock. If somebody gets too stupid and they're just trying to disrupt the chat and irritate the chat, I'll intervene. I'll do something. You know what I'm saying? But we normally let people rock. But thank you, Randy. I appreciate your support, man. It means a lot. With that being said, in the book, he talks about how you'll know when you're doing the right thing. G Million in the house. The G Million said he's telling me, shut the hell up and get on to get down. Shout out to G Million with his crazy behind. Here's the thing. When you know you're doing something right, or when you know you're on the right track, or when you just know that you're right, when you know water is wet, but yet you got a crowd of people around you that for whatever reason, whatever agenda, whatever the case may be, they want to argue up and down that water is not wet. Sometimes you can't run against the wind. You just got to sit back, let things fall into place. And when it reveals itself, then you come out and you say, see, I always used to tell my daughter, my youngest daughter, because she fights with her mother all the time. I said, y'all fight each other so much. Y'all play tug of war all day. Somebody's going to have to let go of the rope. Let the other person fall in the mud. And that person that let go of the rope, just come pick them up, brush them off, clean them off, and just say, look, let's have a new beginning. You know what I'm saying? That's delayed gratification. We've heard for several months now, internally, externally, Stadia is dead. It's going to become white label. Blah, 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 blah. This, that, you know. There's no reason to hold on to your joystick. Sell them on eBay. Sell them on Craigslist. Hell, reopen MySpace and try to sell them there and beatbox on them. You know what I'm saying? And sell them on MySpace. We've heard it all. We've heard it all from every single angle where we told that we were foolish and we were idiotic for supporting this platform. Those that say, hey, look, Stadia means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. It's brought me back into gaming. I appreciate there's other platforms and I appreciate what they do for other people. But for me personally, I'm focused on Stadia right now. That's me. I appreciate what y'all like. If y'all like it, I love it for y'all. But I'm going to do my thing right here support this platform because I see promise in it. I love the experience. For those that felt that way, you've had a lot of names thrown at you. Told you were gatekeeping. Told that you were being naive. Again, grab the Stadia controller, head to MySpace, Craigslist, Instagram, wherever, Facebook store, wherever you can sell it, and sell that bad boy. Because you were out your rabbit mind. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff we went through. All because Stadia just was putting their head down and doing the hard work. And all evidence pointed to that. Now, again, we don't know if at the end of the day, if this will be successful. That's a different conversation. And that's one that's fathomable and can be entertained. What Stadia's doing for the long term, is it going to be successful? That's a conversation I'm willing to have. You know what I'm saying? Because it's opinion based. But when the facts, day after day, moment after moment, time after time, show you that what's going on here is somewhat of a reboot, of a mini reboot, a rebuilding, a refocusing. We pointed it out here. It started with the Catherine Hassai interview. I told you guys. I told you. It started there for a reason. I'm going to reveal some things that I couldn't reveal before. Not a lot. I'm not going to sit there and bloviate and make it seem like these are going to be big reveals. I don't have the big reveal connections like my homie, Sunny Cloud Gaming. Shout out to him. He's killing it. He's killing it. But there are just some tasty tidbits that I can put out there. Conversations that I've had with people connected that I'm going to release today. That I'm so glad that I don't have to hold it in no more. Because I got tired of holding it in. Was getting indigestion. Shout out to the good brother Daryl Smart Jr. He says, what's good, MM? Shout out to you, good brother. Love you for the support as always. But we're going to talk about some things today. And we're going to chronologically go over what was said today and bring it back home to the book of Stadia Dosage. We're going to bring it back home to the book of Stadia Dosage. For the sake of showing you why when you come here to YouTube, you got a decision to make. Are you going to, rather make sure that you put things in this proper bucket. There's entertainment, there's information. Please be very careful on which one you try to intake before you make a bad swap. You don't drink your food, you don't eat your water. You can partake in it all, but understand what's entertainment, what's education. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to do two things. Two articles I want to go over. First, I want to go over this article by our good friends at Chrome Unboxed. And in order for me to do that, this is a new setup, y'all. Y'all got to bear with me. Let me show y'all something. Hold on, it says Websy. Is that a Websy? Okay. I need help. I'm sorry. This is our good friends at Chrome Unboxed. And this article is by our good friend, Michael Perigo. I love Chrome Unboxed. I love the guys there. They do great work. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check them out, 9 to 5 Google. I feel like they do very good work as well. I know Ben had a tizzy earlier today, or was it yesterday, about his Google TV article. I mean, me personally, I'm not even going to go there. I just, but overall, what I'll say is that I still give major kudos to Ben for being exemplary to his colleagues and showing them how they should have wrote about the stuff that's connected to what we're going to talk about today, which is Google clearing the air for the public. For those of us that are in the know, we knew the truth, whether we wanted to digest it or not, whether we were trying to eat our water or drink our food. The truth is the truth, and we knew what the truth was. But for the general gaming public, for those out in the ethers, the non-believers, as they said, they telling the non-believers, take notice. We got what we got today. I just want to check something real quick before I read this article, because this is going to be some important stuff. Hold on one second. I went to the wrong tab. I got to check my phone. This is a new setup, y'all. Y'all got to bear with MM2K. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all, everybody in the chat. God Hero 250. Hey, look, I like his thumbnails. I think his thumbnails are cool. Bippity Bob says, yeah, Sonny got the info for real. Absolutely. Sonny got the info. When Sonny says he got it, he got it. Ain't no doubt about it. All right. Hold on. I can't believe. Why can't I find? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now we got that situated. But yeah, this is a great article by the homie Michael Perigo. And the people at Chrome Unboxed, him, Rob, and company, they're of my favorite people within the industry. So with no further ado, let's get into it. Well, you know what? Let me do one more thing, y'all. I'm sorry. Because I didn't let the people know in the Discord that we were live. So I don't want them to miss any of this, right? You don't want them to miss any of this, too. That's not good for them. That not good for them. Let me see. Okay. Discord, where you at, baby? Where you at, Disco? Where the Disco at? As my homie Storm would say, whenever we get ready to do a show, he like, you ready to chop it up in disco? I'll be like, yeah, let's go up in disco, baby. All right. So we got this there. We're going to break it down like this. We got this there. We're going to break it down like this. And then we got this there. Oh, no, not there. We're going to break it down like this. And then I can go back to PNTS Network. All right. I think now we groovy. We groovy. I can minimize that. All right. So let's read this article. The article reads as follows. I'll say it again. Stadia is alive and well as Google shuts down non-believers. Wow, that's a hell of an article. That's a hell of an article. Stadia may have lost its head of product as John Justice is now vice president at Facebook. It is hard to share. It has had its hard share of of bad publicity. I'm so excited I can't even read. Let me make this big. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Let me make this bigger. It's had its bad share of publicity. Over the past year. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is a point that I continue to reiterate because for some reason, those who have it out for Google's cloud gaming platform, primarily fanboys of other brands, prefer to ignore the facts. In an interview, a new one, with Industry.biz, Stadia platforms and games product marketing lead Nate Ahern came right out and stated that the service is alive and well, and that it is now being led by longtime Googler and Stadia founder Dov Zimring in the wake of John's decision to leave the company. Now, right now, I'm just going to go over what's being said here. I'm not going to go over my interpretation and bringing it on home to the book of Stadia Dosage, okay? So, with that said, just want to go over my brother's great article on how an article should have been wrote about all this. Apparently, Dov has had a big part in Stadia's development, even so far back as its inception as Project Stream, and will be instrumental in leading the team toward their goal of creating the best possible platform for gamers and even the best technology for its partners. For now, Nate equates cloud gaming and its adoption to the early adopters stage of VR gaming. It's still young. It has a lot of room to grow. Though we don't know yet how many people actively use Stadia, we do know the player base is very hungry for titles. It is engaged and vocal. Basically, Mr. Ahern told naysayers to stop planning Stadia's funeral just because there is internal reorganization occurring. It's as I said before, just because someone core to the vision of the product leaves, which could be due to non-related circumstances, it doesn't mean that the product is dead. I don't blame people for having this fear. In fact, it's normal. What I do have a problem with, and I'm glad he put this in bold, it's a hell of a journalist. Yes. What I do have a problem with is when a small, vocal minority use news like this to spell doom, fearmonger, and destroy the hopes and fun of those who believe in Stadia and want to see it succeed. I'm not saying that Stadia will last forever. Exactly. Thank you. But I'm saying, once again, that it's not going anywhere just yet. The cold hard truth is that Google is a company that is ever evolving. And the ideas and the passion at the core of its products and services continue to live on longer after its team or original shape dissipate. Such innovation can be seen as a detriment to consumers, and I don't disagree. But it can also very much be seen as a necessity for survival and evolution. In fact, as much as we all hate to admit it, it can and should be seen as the very life cycle of technology and innovation that we agree to when we decide to use it or invest our time and energy. In essence, it's the way it has been, is, and will likely always be. I'm not saying that we shouldn't desire stability, but we should also be willing to roll with the punches when they come in hopes of a better tomorrow. To resist so vehemently instead of assisting in the guidance of such a future and vocalizing our concerns in a responsible manner is to impede on its potential for success and our potential for advancement. You can read more of Nate's interview with Industry.biz, and I recommend that you do so if you want to get the full picture in regards to how Stadia is appealing to the indie developers via its Stadia Makers program and so on. And my brother drops. This is why he gets. I wish I had the Joe Button bullhorn. I gotta get that set up. I got a soundboard here. I just don't use it. Too dang lazy. But my brother drops a Stadia 100 here. Shout out to my brother. Okay. I mean, you don't get any better than this. I could have read the whole article. I don't want to do that because I don't want to sell my brother Michael short. I urge you to go read this article. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. I'm gonna drop it in the comment section. But all you got to do is go to Chrome Unboxed and look for Stadia. It's the first. It'll hit you right in the face. You know what I'm saying? Now my brother God Hero 25 says, I heard 1 to 2 million subscribers Stadia has. We don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean people that have touched the platform altogether, like Stadia accounts that exist? Or do you mean active users? Because I'm here to tell you this. According to numbers that I have, Stadia got anywhere between 250,000 to 500,000 of that, a quarter to half of that in April or May. I'm sorry, between April and May, between the 2 months of April and May, that's when Stadia got about half of that just to signups and engagements. I've seen hardcore numbers. I've seen them. Shout out to my brother from another mother, Clive Linden. Hey, Clive, you see I'm using your stuff. I'm ripping you off. No, my brother put out a hell of a video today. Definitely go follow it. I was all on it. He's the reason why we're so late. I said, I got to use that. I can't use StreamYard anymore. Again, nothing against those young developers. I wish them the best of luck. But for the needs that we have here to engage with you guys and try to bring you better product for the price that they're asking and what they offer, they still got a long ways to go. Now, I will say this. From, again, the numbers that I've seen, hardcore numbers. And that reminds me, I got to talk to Jack because I think we're going to break these numbers wide open. We might have to do that for next month's show. We might have to do that because I know the source. Some of my brethren know the source too. I know the source. We might have to break that source wide open. Maybe drop some jaws. But I don't want to do it. If Stadia's not ready for it yet, then that's fine. I respect their gangster. I respect their business plan. Is Stadia perfect, y'all? No. Was Xbox perfect when it launched? No. Was PlayStation perfect? No. But the game industry is a tough industry to get into. It's a lot tougher now than it ever has been. You got entities like Young Ye and Rich from Review Tech that mobilize gamers, misinform them in a lot of ways, and get them angry for their own personal benefit. Shout out to my good brother, Little Tatia Boy in the house. He said, keep up the great work, my dude, with the $5 super chat. Yes. Yes, Little Tatia Boy. And thank you, hey, brother, thank you so much for helping our other brother, Doc Dark. He really spoke highly of you in Sparrow and helping him out with the Division 2. I really appreciate that because I was supposed to rock out with my bro, but things are just crazy, man. We got Stadia 100 initiatives. We're working with Jack. Jack is coming to bring y'all the summer games, man. That's going to be a lovely thing. Then we got some PNTS things working on some Stadia. I am tired 15 ways from Sunday. My wife just told me, if you don't give me 5 minutes of your time, I'm throwing you out. Like Wilma did to Fred in the beginning of the Flintstones. You're going to be sitting out there with Dino. So, Little Tatia Boy, thank you so much. I appreciate you, good brother. Thank you. But again, I've seen hardcore numbers that show that around at least a quarter of that was gained between April and May. That's all I'm saying. Again, I respect Google's gangster on this. I don't see nothing nefarious happening. So because I don't see nothing nefarious happening, I'm not going to put the horse before the carriage. We know where to get the numbers from. Me and Jack gonna bust the numbers wide open, take a look at it, sit back, chill, have our tea, and go about our business. Because it's about that delayed gratification that we talked about. We heard so much stuff from when SG&E closed up until now. I've heard so many people hit me behind the scenes. Yo, MM2K. Yeah, man, this is what's happening with State. Yeah, man. Go to MySpace with your controller. Sell that puppy. So many people hit me up with all these Looney Tune conspiracy theories. And I just sat back and I chilled. I said, oh, okay. Oh, that's great. That's interesting. Oh, man. But I've been doing this for too long. I'm sorry, excuse my French. I know the difference between piss and lemonade. I know how to sniff the glass. I've been doing this for way too long. People trying to hit up me and Z. Hey, yo, Z, we got that new information on Xbox. Hey, they got my brother Z a long time ago. On that Joe Montana football thing, they got him. And my brother learned from that. A lot of people work behind the scenes to try to gas you up like they know stuff when they don't know a lick. I've been doing this for way too long. Y'all would be surprised at my DMs if I showed them to y'all. as many people that were experts in this had their hands in this, had their hands in that tried to sell me on a book of rotten goods, some moldy potatoes. And what I'm here to say is that I've been doing this for too long. I've learned that the best foot forward is to follow the evidence, not your emotions, not yours, not mine, not anybody's. Follow the evidence. Look at precedent and follow the evidence. We ran through this last year. Internally, externally. Oh man, they're about to close shop before the end of the year. Then look, shout out to my brother. He's here. Shout out to my brother. I saw him. Where he at? Lurking. There you go, lurking. Yo, lurking. Was trying to tell fools last year. Nobody wanted to listen to him. He busted out the crystal ball. Storm struck Thomas. And everybody had to, we had to eat crow. Me included on some things. He was like, man, I told you. I was trying to tell y'all. Gotta learn how to follow the evidence. I feel a certain type of way, so I can get on the mic and talk about how I feel. I can write an article and tell you how I feel. But as long as I'm not trying to take my conjecture and my opinions, my op-ed, and make it seem like it's diehard proof, that's okay. That's entertainment. There's nothing wrong with entertainment. The problem is when you try to dress the entertainment like it's informational, like it's fact. That's when it becomes a problem. Shout out to the homie Michael Perigo. Again, we're not going to say that Stadia's formula is going to work and they're going to kill it. We don't know that. That still has to be proven. But the amount of evidence showed what was talked about today. That this was a refocus of their assets, a reallocation of what they have to try to do it a different way because they looked around and they said, look, we got a lot of lofty dreams out here and people just ain't buying it. So when we look at the numbers, when we look at the figures provided by NASDAQ and others that said that cloud gaming ain't going to really be at 4% of the business until 2027. Why are we wasting these resources on this now? When right now, we could be working on mind share and getting the games that people want over there. Now I got into this little disagreement. I mean, nothing major, just difference of opinions on Twitter about GFN's 10 million. Even though the general gaming populace laugh at that 10 million, they do. I've told you about this before. I do think that 10 million engagements for GFN, because of their business model, is impressive. The argument was given to me, Stadia would love to have GFN's 10 million. Well, no, they don't want necessarily GFN's 10 million. All right. A big chunk of that 10 million are people that don't want to invest a penny into cloud gaming. They're the PC master race. They just love to play Destiny. They get to play it on the go, and they get to do it for free. As soon as GFN eradicates his free tier, they're gone. So Stadia don't want that 10 million because of the way Stadia is developed. The way GFN is developed, they're going to eat that. They're going to eat that for a little bit because they just want to be able to flourish and nurture a cloud-based system on the back end in case cloud gaming overrides its dedicated device gaming. This has been talked about with analysts and the likes and people doing the business over and over again. So it's great that GFN has their 10 million. We as cloud gamers should applaud that. But their 10 million is their 10 million. It's good for their model because they just want that pure engagement. That's all they want. Stadia needs to know that the people that engage with their platform, whether they stay around, leave, and come back, quote unquote, years later, as Jack Buser has indicated, They need to know if those people are willing to spend money on cloud gaming initiatives. That's different from what analysts are saying the bulk of GFN's people are. But I brought all that up to say this. The general gaming community laughs at GFN's 10 million. They say they've been in beta for 35,000 years. And then they launch and they can only get up to 10 million users total. And most of those users don't even pay for the damn service. It's a joke. And I've had to defend it against them. And y'all know I don't play GFN all like that except for Outriders recently. But I've said, no, you got to understand. Cloud gaming is just a small business. That 10 million for what GFN is trying to do is hella impressive. Right? But this is going to be a slow burn. The majority of the gaming populace have not gotten used to the belief system that a gaming entity solely in the cloud or a gaming entity that allows them to play solely in the cloud is something that they can rely on. Analysts just don't study dollars. They study habits and psychology. And they understand that per certain numbers, certain information, certain data, the psychology and the spending habit of the average gamer isn't going to start coming around to cloud gaming for a while. Doesn't mean that the capabilities aren't there, just means that they're not going to get there for a while. Analysts say that even in 2027, it's still going to be a 4, maybe an 8% business. That's not shifting. It's not shifting the scales much. It's going to get there. But again, as it was indicated in it's a slow burn for everybody. Why do you think GFN just came out recently and said, oh, no, cloud gaming is only good for, just a different way to play your PC stuff? Why do you think Xbox said what they said? Because they know it's going to take a while for their product to A, be trusted by the general gaming populace as far as its stability and it sticking around. B, people playing on a cloud platform across the board and them saying, you know what? I didn't realize this was a cloud platform. I thought I was playing on a 4090 Ti, whatever the hell is out at that time. Oh my God, cloud is that thorough? So we can't overlook the importance of performance. A lot of people don't dig cloud gaming because they don't want to take a step backwards. They don't care. The average gamer don't care that you can play games on the cloud. They got consoles that do that already. The technology is supposed to make the experience better. So until globally, across the board, the technology makes the experience better, the average gamer who only buys 1 to 2 games don't care. Analysts know this, the people that are in the know this, and there's what you need to know. That Stadia, GFN, xCloud, none of them have to run out, jump out the window. Okay, we want to enter the main stage. None of them have to do that today or tomorrow. It is a slow burn. So when you take those facts, you take the amount of evidence that's been out there for Stadia, that they are doing a mini reboot in many ways. All evidence was pointing to that they were reshuffling for the long term. And now that they're in a comfortable spot where they got all their ducks in a row to officially announce this reboot, they've done it. But we've already seen it before they said it. The proof was there. Let me clear this out. My brother Charles Aran says, Naysayers, Google Stadia is prime example of when a non-gaming company gets into gaming. Me, like Microsoft, like Sony, like Nintendo, naysayers. Yeah, well, the market was different back then. I hear that all the time. Charles. It's different. It's harder. All right, let's go to the article in question. Now we're going to make the connection between everything that has been said on this platform, why we follow the evidence, and why we're happy to see this, but nothing in here surprises us. Like if you look at Clive has been, shout out to my brother, he ain't been like, oh my gosh, my faith in Stadia has been rewarded. Thank you, Almighty Maker. Thank you. I was so worried. No, yes. No. Clive is out there just basically, I told you so. This is everything we've been telling you. We've been following the evidence. That's all we've been doing. Let's get to the article. Google says Stadia is alive and well. Developer marketing lead Nate Ahern and two Stadia Makers studios offer insight in the status of cloud gaming service. Google Stadia has been grabbing headlines in 2021, but perhaps not quite in the way the internet giant would like. First, the company closed its internal development studio, Stadia Games and Entertainment, less than 2 years after the service launched, seemingly putting an end to the hope of seeing first-party titles that truly demonstrate the full power of the cloud gaming service. In doing so, Google lost key talent from former EA and Ubisoft producer Jade Raymond, who has since received investment from PlayStation for her new venture, Haven Studios. Okay, I want to stop right there. Let's start there. Shout out to Eddie Player One. Shout out to my brother Eddie Player One. Me and Project Storm went on his show. We went on my brother's channel. He brought this up there, and he also brought this up while he was a member of SSC Podcast. And we're thankful that he was there. He made the show so much better. Shout out to Eddie Player One. He said something that was very poignant that stuck to me. And I want to make sure that, again, you're going to hear this theme from me a lot. Today, forever. I'm going to give you your roses now. I'm going to give Eddie his roses now. I'm not going to wait till years later and give credit where credit is due. Eddie said this, and it needs to be known that he said this. You may have heard me regurgitate this, but Eddie's the one that came up with this. Eddie Player One said, we get it. Jade Raymond was a developer, so she was inside the building where the execs were. But even if Jade Raymond knew what was fully going on, she would have known that she was getting let go and would have made moves in advance. She didn't know everything that was going on. Now, I say that in response to this, and I'm not trying to take pot shots at Jade Raymond. I get where she was coming from. This was her third straight studio, I believe, that maybe sold her a book of goods, told her that they were going to let her do this, do that, and the other, and then it went kaput. And she probably had it. She went out and she reacted on Twitter. And what I mean by react on Twitter, WCCF Tech went and said something that Stadia's getting out of the games, or Google's getting out of the games business. She liked and retweeted that. And then there was something else that she liked and retweet too that was giving some serious indicators that Google's days might be numbered. Those retweeting, the retweeting of those articles or that insinuation fueled a lot of this from the get-go. So despite the fact that there was evidence that was mounting to the contrary, people continuously say, well, Jade Raymond was in the know. Was in the know? No, Jade Raymond was in the building. She was not in the know. Jade Raymond didn't know she was getting let go. So just take that into consideration first and foremost. When you're doing pros and cons over what is concrete evidence, what she said was evidence. You can count that towards evidence. But then you got to separate it and put stuff in the right bucket. What's concrete evidence? What isn't concrete evidence? And the fact that she didn't know what just happened to her, she had no idea what was going to happen to her. How the hell she know what's going on in the future of the company? Right? So I wanted to just double down on that. Shout out to Eddie Player One for pointing that out. All went quiet until earlier this month when Stadia's head of product, John Justice, resigned and 6 members of staff went to Jade Raymond at Haven. Okay, so let's clear this up again. Shout out to Ben Shun of 9 to 5 Google, who was first to set this example for his colleagues and showed them, y'all can stop this. Y'all can stop this now. Just stop the silly petty stuff. And Ben he wasn't the biggest advocate of Google. And even after today's announcement, he still may not be the biggest advocate because I think he was more stuck on the revelations that were going to come to, or they were working on when it came to things like Project Chimera and stuff like that. So I get it. Everything can't be for everybody. That's fine. And just because he writes for 9 to 5 Google doesn't mean that he has to be the biggest cheerleader for Stadia. That's fine. But even he had to come out and say, come on, y'all. Stop it. This is sickening. Come on. Let's keep it jiggy here. That's me embellishing on his words, though, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying what he said verbatim. But even he said it's important to note that these people that technically signed to this New Haven studio today already lost their development job. Stadia got rid of all of its game development. There was nothing for them to do in the scope of their expertise. So they just sat around, got paid, did whatever, cleaned up whatever, sat at home, whatever the case may be, until the contract was up. As my good friend Clive points out, the technical term for where he's at, until the redundancy was officially over. We in the States we call it many things. We got 1,000 nicknames for everything. But your legacy time period is one of the things that my company uses a lot, your legacy time period. Particularly after mergers. Or before we're a little bit more cold, cutthroat about it. They also call it when you're purged. Think of the movie. Before you're purged, you're officially purged. Right? I've had to oversee teams. In 2 weeks, guys, you won't be with the company anymore. My deepest apologies. Here goes so-and-so from HR to go over your packets. And they're around for a couple weeks. If the company deems that, that's a good way to go. You know what I'm saying? So to be very clear here, these people were not sitting around at Google developing for Stadia and they just threw down their pens and their pads. I've had it. I can't take it anymore. Come on, Jay. No. They heard Jay got a new studio coming. Oh, wow, we can develop. We've already been working with you. Hey, Jay, you willing to take me on? Oh, hell yeah. Come on, let's go. Or she just called them up after everything was etched in stone. John, Betty, Joseph, Mary, come on out. You know what I'm saying? But these people didn't leave that moment. Everything was already etched in stone. But the media, in large part, has an agenda, with an exception of few. And they ran with that narrative. So I just wanted to be very clear there for those that are new to this. Let's continue. Given the mixed reception at launch, previous complaints around the lack of updates about the service, and the fact that the various witnesses in the ongoing Epic versus Apple trial can't seem to figure out whether Stadia is even still operating, is all too easy to imagine the cloud gaming services days might be numbered. Well, let's be honest here. The reason why they can't figure it out is because you within the media and a lot of you at Industry.biz just can't stick to the facts and work in correct chronological order when it comes to this stuff. I could grab a whole bunch of Industry.biz articles where y'all went to buffoonery, people that ran on live and said, well, you ran on live into the ground. Explain to us what's going on at Google Stadia. And in no way, shape, form, or fashion should on live be brought up. Their CEO was a madman. Google's trying to get more games on the platform. He was mad that other publishers like EA and Ubisoft wanted to put games on other competing cloud services like Gaikai, so he's ripped up contracts. You can't bring those people over here to talk about Google and what's going on with anybody. You can't bring those people over here to talk about Etch-a-Sketch. Hell's wrong with you? But I digress. Let's continue to read. But developer marketing lead Nate Ahern tells Industry.biz the platform is alive and well. We're well on our way to over 100 new games launching on Stadia in 2021, and we're continuing to make Stadia a great place to play games on devices you already own. He says, now this is the important point, and then we're going to pause. We're going to talk about this on the open mic. We're going to go over this because this is one of my favorite parts. Stadia, we're continuing to make Stadia a great place to play games on devices you already own, he says. I tell any non-believers to take notice of how we're continuing to put our words into action as we grow the Stadia Makers program and partner with AAA studios like Capcom, EA, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and others. Oh, now we get to the thesis of today's video. I tell any non-believers to take notice on how we're continuing to put our words into action. Shout out to Chariot Man Gaming. He focuses a lot on what John Justice said before he left. And I'm going to say this too about John Justice. Nothing against John Justice. But he focuses a lot on what John Justice said before he left. In an interview, John Justice had commented that we're going to stop talking about what we're going to do, and you're going to start seeing what we're going to do come to fruition. That's the plan that they doubled down on. Right? That's the new strategy. That was the new approach. Some may argue, well, they weren't saying enough already. Well, they doubled down on it. You know what I'm saying? They doubled down on it. And by analysts and whoever, people like myself, it's the incubation stage. It's the 16 to 18 month or the data collection phase. It's the early stages now. Whatever it is, Jack Buser already set the foundation of understanding that this is a marathon, not a sprint. He said it's going to take years. Just because they shut down SG&E, that didn't extrapolate the computer guards to making that move faster. It's still going to take years. The dissolving of SG&E was for resources, not for technology. It's going to take years. All right? So what do y'all think about that? Let me go to the chat. What do y'all think about the fact that they say, I tell any non-believers to take notice on how we're continuing to put our words into action? What do y'all think about that? Randy says, when you add misinformation and mix it with impatient gamers, it makes for people going into a frenzy. Like I said, people forget that Xbox took time to get where they are today. I find it so interesting that we see a lot of people that that I know personally that are fully engaging Xbox, and they're like, "Oh, Xbox is the greatest." See, Xbox is doing this, so in Stadia, can't do this because Xbox is doing this. And these are people that were not with Xbox for the almost 2 decades that I was with Xbox. So I know. We ran a small publication centered on Xbox, New Age Faction. I tell y'all to look it up all the times. Bunch of cheesy, crappy articles, but there's something that we believed in, and we were dead ass serious about it. I've been heavily focused on following Xbox content for almost 2 decades. Everything that Randy just said is so true. Xbox didn't just say, you know what? We figured this is the way to go, so we're just going to do it. No. Super quick history on Xbox. Here's what happened with them. Xbox started developing a system to combat Sony's fight to take over your living room. That's what the Xbox was for, was to stop Sony from taking over your living room. That was Steve Ballmer's and Peter Moore and all of them, Donnie D and Jay Allard and all those people that ran Xbox under Ballmer. Xbox was just to stop PlayStation from taking over your living room. Once Satya Nadella took over, there was a reason why. The board, he didn't just walk in one day and say, damn it, make me the CEO. The board had to vote for him. And why did they vote for him? Because he was their resident cloud expert. And the board knew that cloud technology was going to usher in the future for industries such as the ones that Microsoft are in. So they voted this guy as the CEO and made him the new CEO, and Steve Ballmer was out. Now, when you usher in a new era, a lot of times you got to go to the people that thought like the former boss, and you got to get rid of them. There were a few that stayed along, but Donnie D just had to go just because of that nature. He was a Steve Ballmer guy, and and naturally Satya Nadella felt like that he had his own people they would rather have up there. That's all. There were some few stragglers here and there, like Terry Myerson straggled for a little bit. But Satya wanted new blood that thought like the way he thought, because he was running the camp. Satya is all about the cloud. And because of that, and because of the offerings that Satya helped usher in under Phil Spencer's facilitation, and you got to give Phil Spencer kudos for ushering in the Bethesda deal. All the major big deals prior, those were Satya and Nadella. You don't believe me? Go listen to the Fortune 500, the Fortune magazine interview where Phil Spencer totally gets ripped to shreds. A lot of that stuff, if not all of it, prior to the Bethesda deal was Satya Nadella. I've reported Satya Nadella closely since 2017 on my MM2K channel. Go check it out. But all that started in 2013. 8 years later, we are where we are now. A lot of painful years for Microsoft in between that. Now, the media loves them. That's great. Now they just got to close the gap market-wise, financially, production, whatever the case may be, with their products and services, and we'll see what they do. But for those of you that are just late bloomers to what Microsoft is doing, it took 8 years to get here under this new regime. $6 years from now, cloud gaming is not going to be considered more than an 8% business. This is a slow burn, not a sprint, but a marathon for everybody in the cloud gaming industry. So let the company build and grow. Do not think that the Stadia that you see today is the Stadia that you're going to see next year. The Stadia that we saw last year isn't the Stadia we see this year, is it? Is it? Let's continue on. Well, let's go to a couple more people in the chat. Homie Bippity Bop says it takes time. Absolutely. Little Chatia boy, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Or no, as Storm says, I don't know what the hell's wrong with YouTube. I don't know why you're not a mod. We're going to fix that today, good brother. You are a mod today. That tells me that they're probably equally as frustrated as Stadia believers. Yes, when so many ill-informed individuals continue to doubt and hate on Stadia simply because it's the cool thing to do. Tortilla boy, you hit it right on the nail. And you're onto something because it is the cool thing to do. I've had content creators come to me and say, MM2K, I ain't tried Stadia. I don't know. It's just the cool thing to do. They've said it to me. It's the cool thing to do. So, with that said, you hit the nail right on the head. Clive says, all the evidence has been there all along, but there are those that choose to ignore it. Yes. Some people think it's about them being quote unquote right. It's not about that. This is a growing process. I wake up every day realizing, thinking, what can I learn today? Somebody that helped me get a better understanding of what was going on was my good brother, 6'4", Freeform Gaming, Pure Freeform Gaming. Shout out to him, the PFG's in the house. I remember on a show, I had saw a Stadia Connect. I said, well, that's not going to get the hardcore. I was flopping and flipping and just upset. And 6'4" said, hold on, y'all. Now, we got to understand here. Now, he was like, I'm starting to digest it, because he was doubtful too. He's like, I'm starting to digest it. This is not a bad thing. This is targeting an audience. We got to remember, everything is not going to be targeted for us. It's like, no. And then I said, I was like, I'm gonna burn my brother 6'4's biscuit. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna show him. I just want to show him some of the stuff they were saying. I went to the internet, and lo and behold, my biscuit got burnt. Everything that my brother 6'4 had said was being revealed right before my eyes. Stadia has a good connect. The media tracking was great. Stadia was tracking just a bunch of stuff. It was just, I couldn't believe it. And I had to come back and eat crow. You know what I mean? Let me see. I saw another comment up here. Let me see here. I want to get somebody else in here real quick. Somebody else new in here that haven't commented yet. Oh, Marcus G. Knight says, Stadia players know how good Stadia is. And Stadia turning the meme on its head in a timely manner and aiming it right back at the hate shows personal engagement that is daunting to non-stakeholders. I like that comment. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's go back. Oh, whoops. Trying to go down. Okay, let's go back. Jay Smith said MM2K on pastor mode at the moment. No, I'm just saying, we got to go through the book of Stadia Dosage. We got to go through the book of Stadia Dosage, SDO chapter 119. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to, I've been doing this for too long. I've been hearing so much noise, so much stuff that's why I've purged internally. I've said, you know what? A lot of the people externally aren't even worth engaging because you have to understand the proper buckets to put this stuff. There's entertainment. A lot of people love entertainment, the arguing and the bickering and stuff like that. The console war is the biggest money maker for these console makers. They can sit there and tell you all day, oh, we just want gamers to game and love the gaming. No, all that X gonna give it to you and them doing all that Xbox pride stuff. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's throwing the waving the hand at the PlayStation people who over at their booth is throwing up the championship belts and saying greatness. The console war is the biggest money maker for these execs. Do not fall for that hype. They are here to make money. They want you to believe that they got hearts made out of gold and lovely flowers. No, they're here to make money. So, understand this, that there is a reason why they had to do the things that they're doing, Stadia. They're doing it in their own way. Will they be successful at it? Nobody knows. But believe you me, there was enough evidence, as my brother Clive said earlier, the breadcrumbs were out there, that they're making readjustments long term. But let's continue on. We're well on our way. Oh, no, I reread that part. When pressed for more information, Ahern said Google was focused on delivering value for our partners on behalf of our players. I want to stop there real quick. When this was brought up in the original SGE letter, which I will admit was done poorly, because it was too matter of fact and too bland, and I get it, to where it may have been focused at like just a business letter, but that wasn't the best way to introduce this. Daniel at Kotaku put it out there. Nah, Chief, y'all messed that up. When you originally did that, they still had in the letter, though, that they were making this a value for their partners and the gamers and stuff like that. Then there was a whoop to do about that. Then they followed up in the Stadia blog and said, hey, we're doing this for our gamers. And it still wasn't accepted. And they were like, no, that just means white labeling. That means white labeling. And we're like, no. White labeling could be a part of this down the road. A part of it. But it's important to note that they specifically started off talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and how Cyberpunk 2077 kind of cemented the thought process that was starting to develop there. That maybe a lot of these lofty ideas that they're invested in now maybe aren't the best thing. They're looking to the left. They're seeing Amazon getting slaughtered and trying to do their own stuff. And they can't, they can't punch their way out of a wet paper bag and get a game out there. And then they're looking at GFN with no exclusive content, getting all this accolade simply because there are a lot of people playing on the platform, whether it's paid people or not. There's a lot of people being played on the platform. So Stadia's thinking, if we can get people on our platform through our business model, we don't want them doing what they're doing over at GFN, but if we can increase the influx to our platform, then that'll be better for us. How can we do that? They gauge and they found out that the number one thing that people asked for was getting the AAA games that they can play elsewhere, getting the Fortnites and the Call of Duties and all the other stuff. And as of April of this year, when you check NPDs, which represents the largest console market, which is the market that I think Stadia is focused on early on, along with other markets, but it's an important market for them early on. The majority of the people in that market bought games that are multi-plat, where 80% of those games are now on Stadia. I remember putting that tweet out there and people the general gaming public didn't even realize it. Many people that were bashing Stadia retweeted that. They were shocked. They were like, oh, didn't realize that. because the cool thing is just to bash Stadia, as was spoken to earlier. But the game plan was always to do this readjustment again, as we've been saying, to deliver more for the gamers for the stuff that they were asking for. As much as we, the 5%, the nerds, wanted to see Project Chimera, that's not going to win over their demographic, which is a demographic that right now just buys 1 to 2 games a year. Okay? Right. And another thing with John Justice. Like Clive says, y'all can't have it both ways. It was, Stadia's doing horrible. Stadia's doing crazy stuff. Stadia's doing bad and all this other stuff, right? And it's reasonable to believe that the product manager was behind a lot of the decisions that people didn't like. Everything isn't run by Phil Harrison. Everybody don't operate like Microsoft. Mikey Barr pretty much alluded that everything runs through Phil Spencer. Every companies don't work like that. Decisions are made without the head of the actual entity always making them. So a lot of these decisions that were made or that were influenced might have been from John Justice. Hence why he's not there. Possibly. Maybe they were alluding to them not really being favorable of the things that he thought, the direction he thought was best. And by the complaints that people are making about the platform, maybe that was best. So y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't sit there and say, Google is doing a horrible job. They're not being managed right. Oh my God, this is horrible. There needs to be change. And then when there's change, y'all go, oh my God, the guy that was there while things were horrible, oh my God, he's gone. That's horrible. Oh my. Y'all gotta make up your mind. Y'all gotta make up your mind. This is why I say it's okay. I don't care what people say. It's okay to separate yourself from a lot of this bickering, because it's always a catch-22. It's a never-ending cycle of complaints and bickering you're going to run into if you engage everything that's being thrown out in the ethos out there. It's okay to step away from it. Let's continue on. We push for more information about okay, I read that part. We push for more information about the recent departures, to which a spokesperson reiterated that when Google announced it was closing the studio, the company said it would be finding new roles for much of the SG&E team as possible. As for the 6 joining Raymond's team, Google is happy. We are able to find new opportunity. They were able to find new opportunity. That's the story right there. That was the story. The people that had talents that we really couldn't service anymore. I mean, yeah, we could have did something relative to it, programming, but they really wouldn't have been happy there. They found somewhere where they could be happy. It's a win-win for everybody, but no. The press, including Game Industry.biz, is important for them that they're holding the story. To try to go through some redemption, because they need it. I was really questioning Game Industry.biz. But they did. There's something good happened with these people finding jobs. That's the story, y'all. Not the silly stuff that you saw out there through the internet. The product team for Stadia, we're told, is now led by longtime Googler and Stadia founder Dov Zemring. There we go. We don't know why John Justice left. We know he went to go to Facebook. But we don't know under what circumstances he left. They have a replacement. There you go. Why replace somebody that's not going to, for a service that's not going to be lasting long? In the Fortune 500 world, when you're about to get rid of something and somebody goes, those are exits that the company dissolves because you're looking to make money back. So why create a new position where you got to pay salary, health insurance, Social Security insurance, and all the other stuff that people that don't go through y'all's cipher If you're not familiar, if you haven't dealt with this stuff, I've dealt with it for 25 plus years. You don't recreate a position where you got to put all that stuff into play. No, you just merge it into somebody else's position, or you take the responsibilities if they were doing a lot and you break them up and you give them to a few people or several people if you're winding things down. That's not what you do in the Fortune 500 world. So before we go off into that stratosphere, he was replaced. Okay? He will be leading the team towards our goals of creating the best possible platformers for gamers and technology for our partners. Another focus for the remaining Stadia team, I like how the remaining Stadia team, is the Stadia Makers program, an initiative that offers support on everything from development to marketing support to the studios bringing Unity-based titles to the service. The program has already produced 5 indie titles for Stadia with more than 20 more in development. With no first-party exclusives heading to Stadia, you might expect that onus is on the indies, enrolled in Stadia Makers to deliver titles that help sell the platform. But Ahern says that's not the case. We're not shifting pressure onto independent studios. We work within the Stadia Makers. He says the whole point of the program is to support their addition of Stadia as a launch platform for their game, not to add any pressure or make anything harder for them. The 2 indie studios we spoke to, ones that currently working on Stadia Maker releases supporting this claim, Martin Bugisi, community manager at Tedesco, which recently launched Kazi in a wild mass on Stadia, says the closure of the internal studio has not had any impact on the support we received of our relationship with Stadia. Meanwhile, let me stop there. This is nothing new. It's a shame that this has to be reported here. I sat with Mantis Games. Shout out to Stadia Source. They sat down with Mantis Games. They talked about the newer revelations that are happening with Stadia and the indie development there. My good brother John Scar in the chat sat with indie developer for Death Carnival. They talked about a lot of interesting stuff going on, not only with the game, but working with Stadia as an indie studio. This is not news. I applaud Industry.biz for picking up the phone when Google called them and reporting what Google told them. But I still got a question. What's going to come from this publication in the future? Are you going to continue to bloviate and conjecture when the evidence leads elsewhere? This is not news. Where have you been? We've been talking about this stuff for the last 2 months. It's not news. But I digress. Let's continue on. Meanwhile, Alyssa Colgert, senior producer at the Darkside Detective Studio Acupera Games, adds Google has been doing some internal reorganization that has impacted developers in some ways, but they have been transparent about their restructuring and working with us directly on ways to ensure we are supported to the same level we were when we signed on to the Makers program. It's also worth noting that Stadia's Makers is not set up to source a source of a true service selling exclusive. Some titles have timed exclusivity, so debut on Stadia long before they're available on traditional platforms. But Ahern says Google is keen for developers to reach as wide an audience as possible, even if it's on another platform. An important distinction about Stadia Makers to highlight is that by design, we don't expect any studios to exclusively publish your game on Stadia, he says. Rather, the program is designed to support studios and bring in their Unity-based games to launch on Stadia in addition to other platforms. He continued, That translates into more games for players to enjoy from diverse voices that tackles themes like mental health, dystopian realities, and the human mind. For the independent studios that are part of Stadia Makers 2021 will bring more players to experience their games instantly through the cloud, and we think that's a great opportunity to continue to build upon. Our good friends at Mantis Games, who now are marketing their services to help port Unity-based games over to Stadia. I don't know if they were part of the Makers program. Someone informed me if they were, they probably weren't. But their access to the platform led a lot of promise to them. My brother John Scar did an interview with one of the Maker program individuals today. Definitely check that out. As people's experience, look, developers coordinate with each other. They coordinate and they help each other out. When these people the more people get access to Stadia, whether the game stays on Stadia only or not, the better it is for Stadia dealing with the industry as a whole. As more people, either at the level of a Mantis Games or just by picking up a phone, hey John, I know you worked on Stadia, but I'm having this problem with this line of code. Can you? Oh yeah, man, what you're going to want to do in that situation is ga 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 ga. The more commonly embedded Stadia development comes in the industry, the better it is for Stadia altogether. That's why we were putting a big emphasis on the Game Jam, not only because it was helping disenfranchised developers, but this is a young platform. Who cares if PlayStation and Xbox is doing this too? They're already established. The argument is that Stadia isn't doing the things that it needs to do to be established. We think it's going to go away. And here they're doing it. They're getting the word of mouth done out there either through us, the gamers, or through the actual developers themselves. The people that are going to buy the games and the people that are going to make the games. It all makes sense and why it should be relished. Again, you don't get happy if a senior gets a 900 on the PSATs. That's a college exam test that high schoolers take. I don't know if they still take the SATs to get into college. You want them to get, over 1,000 or whatever on the SATs. But if a freshman gets 900 on the PSATs, then yeah, it's reason to celebrate. That means at that early age, wow, they're really, above everybody within their class. Stadia is not at the Xbox and PlayStation class yet, and it's okay. They have to work and get there. That's why it was important to celebrate this and why we celebrated it. Now look. Let's continue on. This brings up another mystery around Stadia's ongoing existence, its audience. Google has yet to confirm the number of people it has attracted with this cloud gaming service, but both studios we spoke to indicate that there's at least demands for new titles, with Calger describing Stadia's users are very hungry for titles and are engaged vocal players. Cloud-based gaming is still relatively new, but in a new way, it mirrors early adoption of VR gaming, she says. It's very familiar with the technology adoption life cycle. I'd say we're currently in the early adopter phase, moving into the early majority phase. It hasn't quite reached that watershed moment yet, but Google is currently pushing the boundaries of the tech and has the strength of brand awareness and funding to really kickstart the field. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's a slow burn. It's going to be a slow burn for everybody. Nobody in the know of the industry says, in the next year or so, cloud gaming is going to blow up. We may wish it may do that. We may know it's capable of doing that. But you got to get through the psychology of the average gamer. And I got to be honest, too many of us on the hardcore side can't relate to the average gamer. Y'all just can't. See, when I was working at the New Age faction, I kept myself honest. I didn't have to go to GameStop every day. I could order stuff, do all this other stuff, get games other ways. But I went to GameStop on a regular basis to talk to the regular gaming person, the person that only buys 2 games a year, to see what their likes and their dislikes were. I kept myself grounded. A lot of us take our hopes and aspirations and try to spread them amongst the majority of gamers. We are not the majority. Number one, we have to accept that. The people that are listening to this podcast, the people that are here, I love and I applaud your support. But the average gamer doesn't know and will never know who the hell an MM2K is. They never will. They'll never know who the majority of a lot of these people are. They never will. They pick up their games. They may dibble-dabble on an E3 for a little bit. May check out an IGN article here and there when they see something that really catches their eye. But they don't get into this like we do. We gotta stop putting our habits on other people when it doesn't fit their case. They don't do what we do. And it's okay. I take it as a badge of honor. I'm within an exclusive group. I don't need everybody to do what I'm doing in order for me to accept what I like. I don't need those type of accolades. I don't need what I like to be the popular thing in order for me to enjoy it. Too many people do. So what they try to do is say, well, if this is what I do, this is what the majority of people do. No, it's not. We are part of an exclusive group. And we got to get used to that. We got to get used to that. Busa adds, it's actually very interesting to see that the demand for cloud servers like Stadia, and you can clearly see that it's filling a certain gap in the market. I've seen a lot of people saying, I wish this game was on mobile, and Stadia makes it possible for these mobile players to play the game. Ahern reports more studios continue to sign on. Google's partnership with Unity has paid off in helping those that have already released games and reaching new players. Looking ahead, the aim is to work more closely with these developers, a necessity given the reorganization of those that worked internally at Google. I'd say one of these lessons that we learned from our close relationships with Stadia Makers Studio is that they wanted a closer relationship with our partner engineering team. Listen to now, hold on. Before we go there, I want y'all to listen to this, and then we're turning it over to y'all. I'd say one of the lessons we learned, this is Google talking. This is Ahern talking. I'd say that one of the lessons we learned from our close relationships with Stadia Makers Studios is that they wanted a closer relationship with our partner engineering team to walk through different technical resources and provide more direct support to shipping titles on Stadia. He concludes, that's the change that we made in 2021. Carving out more resources. Listen to this. God damn it. Listen to this. That's the change we made in February 2021, carving out more resources for our partner engineering team to work more closely with developers when necessary. Oh, man. Shout out to little Tatia boy. What I just read for y'all, is a book out of the book of Stadia Dosage, chapter 3, verse 16. And MM2K said, let there be cloud gaming for all since Stadia is free anyways. I repeat, that's a change. Let me do this. Thank you, little Tortilla boy, for reading from the book of Stadia Dosage. Let me do this for the people in the back. I don't think they can see this. Let's make sure they can see this. That's the change we made from February 2021, carving out more resources for our partner engineering team to work more closely with developers when necessary. You got to make a decision, folks. You got to make a decision. I like entertainment as well. I can't front. When I used to come home from work, my wife loves E-Network. She listens to the Kardashians. And I can't stand them. But I've opined a couple of times to sit there and watch a few episodes. We all like entertainment. We all like watching spats and all the other stuff, and you can deny it. I hate that stuff, but you'll take a peek here and there. We all do. We're all guilty of it. If there wasn't enough of us who claimed that we hated that didn't take a peek here and there, reality TV wouldn't have taken over TV the way that it has. I like entertainment like the next man. But when you see these big YouTubers, or when you see YouTubers, big or small, doesn't matter. When you see these big YouTubers with their numbers next to their names, I'm going to call him out because we love the brother. He's friendly to broadband bullies and all that other stuff. But Rich of Review Tech, he just said that Stadia has a skeleton crew and they're dead. I can tell you firsthand, Rich is 1,000 times smarter than his content. His content is pure entertainment. So when you take his content, or you see others taking his content and trying to evidence it for something, they are sadly mistaken. I don't think Rich believes a lot of the stuff that he says. He knows it's going to induce clicks. That's what a lot of YouTubers do. What about you, MM2K? You doing this and you doing that. It ain't like your hands are clean. Look, let me explain something to y'all. I've been told multiple times. First and foremost, I ain't got to lie over video games. Me and my brother Project Storm, we had a great show with our good brother Doc Dark yesterday. Project Storm told this story about us, about him not believing the G-Sync thing that I was telling him about. Like I always tell Storm, again, I got too much stuff on my plate. I ain't got to lie about video games. Just try it. We can't be angry at those that won't try Stadia if we internally won't try stuff. And my brother Storm is just passionate. He's passionate about gaming, and at times he'll sit there, he'll tell me something that I've already experienced, and he'll say, "Yo, bro, are you there? Are you there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." He's like, "Well, you ain't saying nothing." I'm like, "Bro, I've said what I had to say." I already know water is wet. But carry on. Continue. And not every time does he come out on the short end of that equation. Me and my brother had to talk about content and how much content to create and all this other stuff. And he's like, "No, I'm M2K. I think I should do this." And I'm like, "No, I'm telling you, brother." And I read the fig leaves wrong, and he was right about that. And those are the type of discussions that I have with my brother, because I appreciate his passion, and I appreciate he just has a good heart. You ain't got to agree with everybody. It ain't about that. If the person has a good heart and their heart is centered in the right direction, y'all can utilize each other's differences of opinions to make one great village. That's what it's about. But when there's all this muck going around, stuff that's not evidenced with information, it's okay to opine. Like the Kardashians' life. people are really living it. They actually live and act and think that way, but it's a fairy tale if you think that's the way of life for the average person. And some of the stuff that we hear out here is just a fairy tale. You can't absorb everything that you hear as factual information. Some of it is just pure entertainment. Understand that. But I've been telling you, Storm has been telling you, Clive has been telling you, John has been telling you, Jack has been telling you, my brother Sonny has been telling you, my brother Brian Chappelle has been telling you, the good people over at Nerd Nest have been telling you. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And there's many more that have been telling you. Rock, there's people I'm forgetting. But y'all get the picture. People have been telling you. Yeah, so there's some people that just want to support and be behind something 110%. Stadia Rev has been telling you. They want to be behind something 100%. And they love it blindly. But I'm here to tell you, I'm not like that. If I don't see something that I don't like or something smells fishy, I'm going to open my mouth. I don't work for Google. Shout out to them, though. I'm respecting their gangster, but I don't work for Google. And for those people that sit there and think, oh, well, MM2K, you think you're going to get something out of it. Look, I've been doing this for years. People tell me, MM2K, if you would just up your production, if you would stop all the yelling, you know what I'm saying? Man, you could kill it. Kill what? What is it that y'all think I'm out here to kill? The only thing that I'm out here to kill is false innuendo and notions. I'm out here to shine light on the truth. I'm not here for a popularity contest. Now, do I say, yeah, we're not too proud to ask? Yeah, we're not too proud to ask. We're trying to spread our message. And it's through your assistance and your help that we're able to do that. We're able to spread our message through having 2 giveaways during SML this past weekend, giving out Stadia premieres throughout the year, doing the different giveaways that we've done, introducing our good brother Doc Dart to the platform, and he's making headways. He told us yesterday he got people on the Stadia, and now they're making Stadia content. That's what I'm trying to kill. I'm trying to kill the misinformation and the innuendo that's out there. I ain't got to lie about video games. I've been doing this too long. Hopefully y'all understand that. And y'all will appreciate that. So again, the reason why everything that we said is coming to fruition in this statement that they released today in conjunction with Industry.biz is because that's where the evidence was pointing to. Now, some people have seen things. I have seen things. I have heard things which I cannot opine for the sake of my life. I can't get into right now. But I can tell you there was a reason why I was laser focused on the Catherine Hassai interview. There's a reason why I keep bringing it up. Because that was the beginning of the restructure. It was. And we were able to confirm with people connected at that time that that's what that was. That was the beginning of the reboot. Hopefully, you guys will understand that it's about ensuring that you guys are equipped with the information that you need to make the best judgment for you. but you do so by following the facts. I can tell you, I've been doing this for a while. Following the facts for me has always been the best foot forward. You know what I mean? Shout out to Monkey Boy. I love this comment. I think in a few years, Stadia is going to get merged into YouTube just like Google Music did recently, and Google Movies. Everything will be one entertainment umbrella. I don't doubt that at all. I think that's, very likely, very possible. I don't have any information on that, but I like that a lot. And that's the end of the article, people. Let's get some gameplay back on here. I like that a lot. It's very well possible that's what's going to happen. And maybe the naysayers will probably get, well, Stadia's dead. Stadia is dead because now it's YouTube gaming. Stadia's dead. As long as I can take the same damn controller, the games that I bought still operate, y'all can have whatever technical, semantical victory that you want. I don't care. Shout out to the brother Unitrix in the house. Good to see you, my good friend. But that's the thing. Y'all gotta understand that this wasn't an overnight process for Xbox. Xbox went through hellfire and brimstone to get to where they're at now. And even when they got the new regime, it wasn't peaches and cream with the new regime. They got mindshare, but the battle isn't over. Don't think that the battle is over. Because now, all that stuff that they promised, they got to make it desirable for the average gamer. Yeah, they got the hardcore gamers, like, taking a second look. They got the 5% hooked. They got the media singing its praises. But that hasn't resonated yet to the average gamer, the gamer that really only wants to buy and play a couple games a year. That's going to be the feat that Microsoft has to tackle. And if they can tackle that, then yes, this was a Cinderella story. Years in the making. Years in the making. This did not happen overnight. Nature Boy says, once next generation games begin to need more reliable hardware and newer consoles start lacking, that's when people will see the raw power of cloud gaming. Yeah, it's going to take years. Well, you know what? No. People will be able to see it soon, I believe. I had this argument, well, not an argument, but a difference of opinion with somebody, I want to say about a year ago, where they told me, they said, cloud gaming ain't going to be capable of this and that and this and that and that and that and that. And I said, well, hold on. We got to be very careful. Like I always say, we got to put things in the right bucket. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Cloud gaming, I think, will be capable to do a lot of great things by 2023. I think that's when you're going to start seeing capabilities and fidelity start to become indistinguishable. I think Stadia will be leading that pack when it comes to that indistinguishable performance. And again, performance is key. We can't leave that out. A lot of people don't trust cloud gaming because they don't believe that it performs on par with the experience that they're already used to. Cloud gaming has to do both. It has to provide content that people want, not just a whole bunch of games, but the content that they want. And it has to perform at levels that at least that they're used to. Being able to pick up a joystick and say, oh, I'm playing it through this special way. If that special way isn't at least as good as the way that you're used to, the average consumer is not going to deal with it. That's what tech savvy people do. They're not tech savvy like us. They could care less about that. It is not until the tech is better than what they already have do they become interested. So we cannot leave the performance out of it. Shout out to my brother Doc Dark. That was on the show last night. He said the reason why Stadia has won him over is because he forgets that he's playing on the cloud and that he's not playing natively. The same with my brother. My brother laughed at me when he first found out I was doing content about this damn Stadia. He said, bro, he said, if you like it, I love it. That's the saying that we say in the hood. If you like it, I love it. Meaning, look, man, I pity you. That's what it is. That's what it means. I pity you. Until he came up my house, saw me playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which again isn't even the best port on there. And he was like, oh, let me play some of that. Was playing it, was like, oh, where's the, he was looking for like, where's your Xbox? And he was looking at my what's it called? My stand and didn't see a system. I was like, where's that? He started, I was like, look behind the TV, and he's looking, and he sees the dongle, and he looks right past. He's like, where the hell's the box at? Like, what's going on here? And I said, brother, that dongle, that circular dongle, that's where I'm playing it from. What? I said, that's Stadia, goddammit. He said, what? And was shocked ever since. Still was skeptical until Cyberpunk came out. And he realized what he needed to upgrade to in order to play it. And when he heard all the accolades it was getting for Stadia, that swayed him over. And he has the platform. Now, he ran into a lull, and I talked about this earlier this year, where after Cyberpunk, he kind of was like, well, a lot of these games that are on the platform, I've already played on my PlayStation 4. Like, I don't want to play these again just because they're on Stadia. I don't want to have to buy them again just because they're on Stadia. Like, where's the new stuff? They need a better library. And that's when SG&E happened. I'm not saying it happened because of my brother, but it's happening because, trust me, my brother was saying that Stadia was, look, y'all got to understand, Stadia sees it all from 5,000 feet. They see all the conversations that are happening. They're viewing all this data. They're seeing stuff that we don't see. I can believe you me, if my brother was having that conversation, which my brother's more like a casual now. He's a casual gamer. He used to be hardcore. He's more casual now. If my brother's having that conversation, other casual gamers are having that conversation, and Stadia is just putting one and one together and be like, look, we got to go, it equals two. There's no other way to do it. And now look at what happened with Cyberpunk. We can't let this momentum fall too much. We got to find a way to keep cranking out these AAA games. Day and date. Shout out to Sparrow is here. What's going on, my friend? Shout out to you. Thank you so much. So that's what it is, people. It's a great thing to see them say this. And again, I didn't mean to offend anybody that may have felt offended, that may have been been within that circle that say, hey, I think this thing is collapsing. It was not my job to offend, but my job here is to separate smoke and mirrors from clarity. I'm here for the unsuspecting gamer. I don't look at a list of who said what, whether it's internally or externally, and say, oh no, this person said it, so let me shut up. I don't do that. I never have, never will. Well, no. I take that back. I'm lying. I'll be honest. At first, I did that. But that went on, and the community called me out. Hey, yo, they met me in the parking lot, or AKA my DMs, and they said, bro, now you talking about this and truth that. What about this, that, and the other? They met me, they surrounded me. Before I got into my vehicle, they said, no, brother, I don't like this. And I had to pony up. I had to say, yeah, you're right. So I don't look at a list before I go over particulars and say, oh, no, Jimmy Jam said this and Bobby Doe said this and Janie Jane said this. And no, I'm not. No. Smoke and mirrors is smoke and mirrors. No matter whose mouth it comes out of. If it comes out of my own camp's mouth, it got to be addressed. That's how we operate. Because it's all about you, the gamer. Again, I've been told for years, y'all, MM2K, just clean this up. Just do that. Just do this. Just do this. No, I'm comfortable taking the tie off and taking this off and taking that off, being who I am and speaking the truth. This is not about me. killing it, as they would say. You could kill it, MMT. That's not about, and nothing against anybody that's out there. I'm just saying, I'm me for my reasons. I'm going to be me naturally. Okay? So with that said, this is a great day for Stadia people to not only, I know it's a big weight off your shoulders as far as all the skeptical noise that you had to deal with on a daily basis. Like you get up and you look on Twitter and you're like, okay, what's it going to be today? Well, first and foremost, if you're doing that, you're too engaged in what other people are saying about your purchasing preferences. You need to disengage. You need to do what I do, and you need to purge. I purged away from a lot of that stuff, and I'm telling you, I've been having the best time with Stadia that I've ever been. I haven't been wasting time going back and forth over stuff. Sometimes I'll engage here and there, but more often than not, I don't, because the facts are the facts. And why would I argue is water wet? For those of you that still want to engage in that, that's fine. Understand what's entertainment opposed to information. The best way to determine that is to look at facts. Look at facts. Weigh the facts opposed to what's being said. Weigh the precedent against what's being said opposed to what actually happens. Okay? And understand that none of us are in the boardrooms. We don't know what's going to shake with the platform in the future. All we can say is that if you enjoy this platform, there's nothing wrong with it. If you enjoy solely this platform, there's nothing wrong with it. My brother Clive says in that great video that he did about Stadia 100 that there's nothing wrong with having a Stadia fandom. Just a year ago, we were celebrating that. That's why we had events like Stadia Super Saturday, because we were marveled by the technology, by this platform, and we wanted to share what this platform could provide to others. Now, others may marvel in other platforms, and yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with having GFN Pride or Amazon Pride. But don't let anybody make you believe that having Stadia pride in this Stadia platform is something wrong. There's nothing wrong with having Xbox pride. There's nothing wrong with having PlayStation pride. Now, there's a difference between being a purebred PlayStation or Xbox fanboy. That's different. But having pride in something, you're happy that you're engaging with it, and it brings you joy. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, just a year ago, the community was celebrating that. Nothing wrong with it. So continue to celebrate and enjoy your Stadia platform. If you like Stadia, encompass it with other stuff like our good brother Doc Dark 1985, who told us, look, my number one experience is my Xbox, but I appreciate Stadia. They rock out like that too. My brother Project Storm plays everything and plays it thoroughly. So I want to thank y'all for spending your time with me. I just had to make that correlation opposed to the things that we've been saying and the things that are coming to fruition. It isn't we are in the know. I'm no smarter than you. I'm no smarter than the people out there. Most of them are smarter than I am. I just felt like coming out here and telling you the truth. That's the only difference. That if there is a difference. I just want to come out here and tell you the truth. I can look beyond my own personal feelings, like I did when that SG&E letter came out, like I did with the whole situation with Outriders. I can look past my own personal feelings and say, I get all of y'all. I can connect with all of y'all. Even though I feel this way, these are the things that you're looking for. Here goes the evidence to counterbalance that. So with that said, go out and enjoy your gaming, man. Enjoy your platforms. Enjoy it. Enjoy Stadia. Stadia 100, man. With that said, Ape Zone says, why is nobody talking about Stadia coming to Android TV? We talked about that yesterday. Ape Zone, are you not subscribed to MM2K? Or you're not subscribed to Stadia Dosage? Check out our show last night that we did with my good brother Dark 1985, where we talked about his 60-day Stadia challenge. We went over that, my good friend. Definitely check it out. And if you're a member, check out that extra content that we did. It was great stuff. Nature Boy says, I have stock in Google, so I don't work for Google. They work for me. I can dig it. I can dig it. Castle Runner in the house. He says that Monkey Boy, usually the issue is most people don't realize that their opinions or beliefs can tend to be short-sighted and not looking enough at the big picture. People are resistant to change. God Hero 25 says, Stadia is currently the best cloud gaming platform, but it still has to be the best when xCloud finishes beta. That's an interesting point, God Hero. The problem is that there's this inclination, and Doc brought that out last night. There's this inclination that once Stadia, or once Xbox finds a sweet spot in performance, that Stadia is going to stop. No. Stadia continues. Listen to DICE 2020. They talk about right now that all the cloud gaming platforms find themselves in something that they call the valley, where it's really scary for them because they're like in this big void room and they don't know how far they can go. And it seems like in this big void that Stadia has a head start in front of everybody as it relates to performance. And we just told you how important performance is in this equation. You got to get people comfortable in saying, okay, this is good enough to replace the experience that I'm used to. So Xbox seems to be behind everybody in that equation. I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be mean. So I'm harder on Xbox. I'm a little disappointed that they are. They've done the most talk about this leading up to cloud platforms coming out 2019, 2020. And it feels like that their technology is the least impressive. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be. I will say that Xbox will bring a lot of attention to cloud gaming, a lot more attention to cloud gaming, rather, when they do come out. But is it going to be enough to usher it past that 8% before 2027? I don't know. The platform doesn't have the performance. Now, if Xbox had Stadia's performance, man, oh man, oh man. I'd be with you, bro. I'd be with you. I have to be honest. I'd be with you. But it's going to take them a while to get there. They're a little bit behind the curve. Exactly, Kessel Runner. Exactly. That was the point that I was making. Stadia is not going to be standing still. You know what I mean? See who else we got up in here. Okay. Shout out to my good brother Daryl Smock Jr. Man, I love you, brother. I always got that mad support, man. I love you, man. Hey, I want to ask y'all one more question before I go. Here, let me bring this back over here. Let's see if I can find it. And let me clear this. Let me clear my throat. My good brother Michael Perigo, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, from Chrome Unboxed. Let me know. Hey, look, y'all need to go and tag Michael and let him know. I'll do a poll. Tag Michael and tell me if y'all want to see him sit down with MM2K and Project Storm for an SML podcast. If y'all want to see that happen, I gotta let Michael know. I already let him know that him and Rob and the whole Chrome Unboxed family, they're my favorite people. But maybe they got to hear from y'all. If they hear from y'all, maybe they'll say, okay, we're going to entertain these two dudes. We're going to come on SML. So you got to let Michael know via Twitter if you want to see him sit down with MM2K and Project Storm during an SML podcast. I think that would be a hell of a show. I probably just got to sit my mic down, go mute, drink my tea, and let Michael do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Let us know if you want to see that, okay? All right, with that said, hey, good brother, Ape Zone Entertainment, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, we try to drop some good stuff on here, and pretty soon y'all going to hear more voices opposed to just me spitting all over the pop filter. You know what I'm saying? We're aiming to bring you guys entertainment, but also to bring you guys top-notch information without all the smoke and mirrors, okay? But I appreciate you, Ape Zone Entertainment. Thank you so much for the kind words. And with that said, I want to thank y'all all for coming out here, man. Thank you so much. I know we're later than usual. But y'all stuck through with it, and we appreciate it. So with that said, it's your boy MM2K, SLS featuring MM2K. New setup. We got new digs. Papa's got a brand new bag. So check us out. And don't forget our interview tomorrow with Ace, co-founder of Cloud Gaming Extreme. Yes, that same Cloud Gaming Extreme that was featured on the multi-million subscriber YouTube channel, Linus Tech Tips. Yes, my brother Ace is going to be interviewed by your boy MM2K tomorrow. But you got to be a Stadia Dosage News member in order to catch it live. If you don't catch it live, the VOD will be on my MM2K videos channel. The link is in the description to that channel. But I think y'all gonna want to catch this live. Don't be out of the Cool Kids Club. Become a Stadia Dosage News member now. Anybody at any level gets to participate, ask questions during this interview. You're not going to want to miss it, okay? And with that said, I appreciate the love of all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Before I go, one last comment. My good brother Kessel Runner says, that would be a must-watch. Let's make that happen. I agree with you, but y'all got to let Michael know on Twitter. You got to let him know. All right. Peace.